The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
What's happening, everybody? Hey, it's Michael Hellickson with Club Wealth, and as you can see, I've got a little bit of a different background today. I am literally sequestered in the mountains of the north, the great Pacific Northwest, in the Cascade Mountains, in a place called Leavenworth, which they call the Switzerland of America. It's incredible here. And my whole focus this week has been to prepare for the Business Strategy Mastermind Conference. If you guys aren't registered for that already, you are going to want to get registered for that conference. It's awesome. We'll put a link while everybody else is introducing themselves. I'll put a link to that event in your chat box. Here's the thing. Today, I'm super excited. We have got some of the smartest Facebook minds on the planet on our call today. We're waiting for Barry. Not sure what happened to Barry. He's on his way. But for now, we've got Suneet Agrawal, who's one of our Club Wealth coaches and crushing it up there in Sacramento, California. We've got, of course, Mr. Travis Tom, who is with Elevator REM, Mr. Facebook himself. And then, of course, Brian Curtis, who is also one of our Club Wealth coaches. Brian is actually a Tier 4 Club Wealth coach now. So his clients essentially already do over $1 million in GCI. Brian's on track. And I always screw the number up. I'm not going to throw a number out. It's a lot of homes. I'm just so I don't screw the number up, just understand he's probably going to sell, many times what most of the people on this call are going to sell this year. There you go. So bottom line, these guys know what they're talking about. And so here's what we're going to do. We want you guys to type your questions into the questions box. This is going to be a mastermind style webinar today. They're going to share some of their best practices on Facebook. We're not going to do like whole full-on PowerPoints for the whole thing or anything like that. But what we are going to do is we're going to say, okay, here's an example of an ad that we ran that worked well, and here's how we ran it, and here's the audiences that we ran it to and all that. So we're going to make it really simple so that everybody on this call can implement it. And if you guys want more advanced stuff, like you want us to get deep in retargeting on another webinar, happy to do that. But for today, we want to keep it focused on every agent out there can implement right now the exact things we're going to share with you. So that being said, who would like to start? Who's ready with an example of an ad and a best practice that you guys would like to share? And I'm starting to see questions coming in. By the way, for those of you that are asking questions, the best question of the day is going to get 5 entries into our Hawaiian vacation giveaway drawing. And every question asked today is going to get 1 entry into that Hawaiian vacation giveaway drawing. So it's pretty awesome, by the way.
Suneet and I have questions.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, so let's start with this. I'm going to throw an audience question out. It's from Michelle Berquist, who's also a Club Wealth coaching client. And she's asking, where do you start? Like, what are the super beginner basics on Facebook? Where do you start? Gentlemen?
I'll take that because I'm pretty good at being basic. So one of the things that I would say, the very first thing it's like anything you do, what's your why? And I really feel like, why am I running a Facebook ad? Some people are running a Facebook ad to generate leads. Some people are running a Facebook ad to get exposure. Some people are running a Facebook ad to get people to show up for an open house. So the very first question you always have to ask whenever you're doing anything is, why on earth do I want to do this? So, for me, the easiest and simplest way for probably, I'm going to guess we got 111 people at least on this call. So that a lot of people are trying to do is just, I need some more people to talk to, right? And then you hear that over and over again. How do I buy leads for $2.50? So the very first thing, and I don't know if you guys are planning on talking about this, is before I even run an ad, I need some place to send them. So, for example, you could buy Travis's program. I'm sure that they've got some great landing pages with that. But, no matter what, you need to have a place to send those people. So when they click on that lead, they got to go someplace. When they click on my link, they've got to go someplace. So, if you want, Michael, I can just share a real simple buyer's ad, and I ran these over and over and over again, and they have multiple purposes. And I ran these as long as 3 years ago I started running stuff like this. So if you want, I can share one of those and just kind of what I like about buyer ads and how they work.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
I don't know. Let me just see this. So can you make me the presenter?
Yeah, that's my bad. Hold on 1 second. Here comes Brian. Brian is now the presenter. Boom. There you go.
All right. Let me know if we can see my screen.
We got it. We can see it.
Okay. So this is, to me, a real simple buyer ad that I run. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. So just listed. So for me, a just listed ad does a couple of things. The very first thing it does, though, is it makes my seller happy. So, if you've got listings, I tell people all the time, the average agent brags about putting stuff on Zillow, TrulyRealtor.com. Well, honestly, in my market, and I'm going to guess in markets all over the country, the only way you have to do that is I simply put in the MLS that ends up there. So be a little bit different. So this is an actual Facebook ad is something that we can do to be a little bit different. And this is not anything advanced. Like I know Travis talks about lead ads, and those are great. There's some great things that come out of that. But this is real simple. It's just click here. You see this red line here. Click here for instant information. And then I use a Google or a bit.ly link to drive them where I want them to go. And so in this case, it's just driving to a lead capture page. They fill out the form, they get all the information. A couple of things that I also do on every single one of my ads is I run USPs. So USPs being unique selling propositions. So my favorite USP is buy this house, we'll sell your house free. The reason that I hashtag stuff, by the way, is so that it shows up bold. Anytime you hashtag something, it will show up bold on an ad. So that's why I do that, and then I've got a link to here. So other things, one of the mistakes I see people make all the time is, and I'm sure everyone else can speak to this as well, is when I'm on Facebook, first of all, everyone needs to remember no one went on Facebook looking to buy a house. That's why you go to Realtor.com or another website. Everyone goes on Facebook to find out, what I had for dinner last night or whatever they're at, but it's never to buy a house. So the normal operation of Facebook is if I click on this little picture right here, it gets bigger. So if you are clicking on that picture, in my opinion, and driving them someplace else, you will get far more landing page hits, if you will, but you get a much lower conversion rate because basically you've angered half the people who are going there because they like this really nice picture right here and they just wanted it to be bigger. So I share a minimum of 4 pictures, and again, my pictures are never clickable. So those are just some things that I feel are real important, real simple. And again, what's purposes? You get buyer leads. The seller knows that you're promoting their home. Make sure that you're sending the seller a copy of it, or make sure that they end up in your target group, or however you want to do it. A couple other things that I think are important, and for those of us who are old enough to remember newspaper, the concept of being above the fold. You notice that you can read every bit of my text here. The reality is there's a certain amount of this stuff that shows through, and you have to click a button that says read more to get it. So for me, my click here is always above the fold. So no matter what, if I want to drive somebody someplace, I always want to make sure that's near the top of the page. So if they don't hit the expand, they still have the option to do that. So that would be my first simplest ad. And I really feel like if you have a landing page to send these people, you can run these starting 5 minutes from now. They're really that simple. So.
I completely agree. So now that brings us to a couple of questions. Why don't you go ahead and keep that up for just a second?
Sure.
Now we're seeing your desktop now, although that is a very pretty desktop.
There you
go. So beware, guys, when you show your desktop, we can see it just in case. I don't know what Sunit, I hate to ask what you got on your desktop. All right, so that being said, everybody's chiming in now. They're like, yeah, we don't want to see Sunit's desktop. All right, so that being said, a couple of questions for you, Brian. Number one, and this is a great question, comes from Chris Gatley, or Gately, sorry. Totally slaughtered your name there. Sorry, Chris. Anyway, Chris asks, why not tiny URL with a vanity address? And so, Brian, when you answer that, if you could also dive into what is Bitly, how does it work, and why are you using that?
So I don't use tiny URL, or why do I use a tiny URL? Is that what someone's asking?
No, they're asking why not use tiny URL with a vanity address.
You can, and I do some of the Bitlys as well. Bitly basically works very similar to tiny URL. Basically, I can have, HTTP bit.ly dot 123 Main Street. You can absolutely have that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. There's some advantages, and you can track the number of clicks that you get directly to that URL, and we use those. I use those honestly more for ads that I run more consistently. Things like, I'll show you maybe later on in the presentation, I'll show you some of the USP ads I run. So I want to know every single time an ad is clicked on. I'm not really worried about tracking how many people click on this link because Facebook's going to do that for me. So it's quicker and easier to just go to Google and shorten it. But I will tell you this. If you're going to do an ad, shorten it. If you're either going to use Bitly, Tiny.
Why?
because otherwise it doesn't work as well. And the interaction and this big ridiculous looking thing, no one wants to see that. So ultimately it takes an extra, again, in this case I use a Google shortener, that takes an extra 30 seconds and it's completely 100% worth it. So you're not having this URL that looks long and drawn out. It just doesn't look professional. So.
And not only that, I would add that it helps you keep everything above the fold. And I think that's a very big piece of this is you want all that stuff above the fold. So shortening that URL really does help with that. Natasha, by the way, hopefully you're hearing this. We need to be doing that more often. Okay, good stuff. So a couple other questions that are specific for you. And by the way, Sunit and Travis, do you guys have any thoughts on the bit.ly URLs or tiny URL? Anything you want to weigh in on there?
Sure. So, I mean, I always use a bit.ly link, and I love tracking it, especially when we get to the free ads, which we'll talk about. I want to see how many people are clicking on it compared to leads, and I won't be able to get that information from Ad Manager.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's going to hide the address, which is what we want as well, right?
You're talking about, when you say free ads, you're talking about organic posts. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's good stuff. All right. Travis, anything to add to that?
No, Brian, everything you said is right on. You know, as I look at this ad, what I see is the multiple photos, which really gets a lot of people to click. So, but that image is not clickable. So of course, the naturally then they'll go back right up to the hyperlinks, right, and click on those. And often right now, what we're seeing in some of our paid advertisements is that if we have a hyperlink above, and also a call to action, that we'll see people clicking on that hyperlink as well, because they don't know that the ads might be clickable. So it's interesting when you have both of those options in there. You know, you have one ad, one goal, but you have basically 2 to 3 different opportunities, right, to be able to make sure that each one of them goes to the page that you want to send them. So the bit.ly and hyperlinks is definitely something to check out and be able to track those analytics and get that. It's on point.
I agree. All right. So now Michelle Berquist has another great question. Do you force registration once they click through to your site? And this is a heated debate a lot of times. I think all of you probably have strong opinions on this. We'll just go just quickly. Forced registration or no forced registration? Travis?
I think you need to give some value and reciprocity. You need to make some sort of deposit, right? Whether that's emotional or whatever it might be. So you need to give something to those prospects to earn their trust, to make them want it. So before they can move forward, right? When you go to Costco and you stand in line and there's someone offering you, right, a little free snack, that is your free sample, right? The reciprocity to get you to buy the. So, I'm all for lead generation and that, but there has to be some sort of item or value of tease to get there. We use Facebook lead ads a lot, so of course we're asking for forced registration 2 clicks in, right? It immediately right off the bat forced registration. When you're sending them to something like a landing page or a website, Facebook is cracking down on the 3-second rule. So you have 3 seconds. Hey, it's Barry.
Barry's it's almost lunchtime. I had to get up. I'm just joking.
No, I've got some. I was actually on the webinar 10 minutes early, just so you guys know, and then everything crashed. So you guys are just gonna have to bear with me. I'm feeling kind of weird right now with the tech stuff.
Dude, you're going to have to get rid of that Commodore 64. I'm telling you, it's time to upgrade. All right, so let's keep going. So, Sunit, I'm going to go to you. Forced registration or no forced registration?
So I used to always force register everything until I spoke to Travis about 2 months ago. And now I don't, are following his brilliant advice on adding value and, you know, the jab, right hook type of deals.
I completely.
So you pixel and then force.
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, what they're talking about, you guys, is so Sunit has people come into his site. He gives them value, and then he retargets them. So he sends them other ads just to the people that have already been to his site. And then when they click on those, now he's going to force registration. Brian Curtis, forced registration? No.
I'm going to go back to where I started, and it's why. And what I mean by that is, what is the purpose of running an ad? If my purpose is I just want to get, for example, a coming soon, I always force registration on coming soon, because to Travis's point, I've got something that they want. I've got a coming soon ad. I've got an activity that they can't necessarily get anyplace else except for me. Always going to force register those. And then the other side of it is, so what you're talking about with Sunit, which is the jab, 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 and oh, by the way, now I'm going to retarget you, which is what you're basically doing. Your level of sophistication matters for that. So 3 years ago, I actually lead captured every single person, because ultimately my purpose was to get more leads. Nowadays, it's a little bit different. No, so if you're someone who's on this call and you're looking at this and saying, I want more leads and I don't want to learn lead ads, for example. So Travis is an expert at that, but that is not something that you're going to learn here in the next 7 minutes. That is not a simple concept. So, or retargeting, hitting people 4 or 5 times and then forcing them to register by basically giving a bunch of free stuff, then retargeting them. Again, if you're not going to learn how all that stuff works, then just force lead capture and get some leads and move it that way. And so the other thing that we do is, if you are in my system, as long as you don't clear your own cookies, if you click on one of my ads and then you come back to another one of my ads, you're not going to be re-registered. So it's not like every single time I run an ad, I register you. I register you once, and then after that, you get to come back for free.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, good. So, got lots of great questions, you guys. Keep these questions coming in. Let's see. Barbara asked, should I run the Facebook ad with or without a landing page? And to Brian's point earlier, guys, I would assume, and by a show of hands, how many of you would agree that you don't ever run an ad unless you're doing lead ads without a landing page? You always run it with a landing page, correct? Travis, would you agree with that? Oh, Travis is the descending vote. Let's hear it.
Well, it depends. It depends on like Brian said, what is your goal, right? If we're working backwards, what is your goal? So if you're running them to and I might be getting too complicated here, but if you're sending them to a blog post, probably, yeah. If you're sending them to a blog post that says like the top 5 things you should know before you buy your first home, when you're targeting first-time home buyers, well, then that probably is more value and reciprocity that you're giving. And then, like Sunit, right, retarget them within a Facebook lead ad of like all the homes for sale under $285,000. But if you're running an ad like Brian's example here, yes, then you need to be sending to a place that has no distractions. And let me kind of clarify what landing pages mean, because I think a lot of people have different variations of what that is. A landing page should have one goal and 0 distractions. No header, no footer, no menu, not, buy a home here, click here, right? We only have one button, and that's the button for them to enter their email and name. But beware, because Facebook is cracking down now on landing pages. So they just released this last week. This is a new update that Facebook just rolled out, which is that if your landing pages take more than 3 seconds or 3.5 seconds to load, then Facebook is going to penalize you and penalize your ads in your quality score, which Facebook sees on the back end. You can't see your quality score, but your quality score will dip and go down, and then your reach on your ads will go down, and you'll get flagged. If the image deal on your, it is a big deal. Yeah, no, it's hurting a lot of people right now. So if your ad doesn't carry the scent over to the landing page, and so in marketing, what we call scent is, does the image on the landing page match the image on the ad, right? Is the scent still there? Is the headline of what you're promising still there? Is there a privacy policy? If it doesn't have a privacy policy, same thing. It's going to hurt. It's going to get flagged. If it doesn't have the same kind of imagery and tone and voice and call to action on it, it's going to get flagged. So there's lots of things that there's actually about a list of about 22 different items that they just came out with that they're penalizing on landing pages. So just be careful of that. Start to really look out for and go through what you have.
Hey, Travis, would you do me a favor? Will you forward me that list? Shoot me an email.
I will.
I'll
take a note now.
So Chris brings
Yeah,
up a good point, and Chris Gately again brings up a good point that this could be Facebook's move to kind of get more people using lead ads. And Barry's like we can see Barry flashing in and out here. It's like he's in the witness protection program or something. Again, he's been taking internet tips from Luigi, I think. All right, so let's back up. Tom Tillier's got a great question on hyper-focused targeting with multiple campaigns or large radius. What do you guys think? Hyper-local targeted campaigns or large radius campaigns? And so
I
do I
think
go
it
multiple
on
campaigns?
your goal.
What's that?
Yeah.
I agree.
It's
Yeah.
why, right? It's why you're doing the ad.
So, yeah, I would agree. And so, generally speaking, you want to be fairly targeted with your ads. You're going to get better bang for your buck the more targeted you are. But again, it really does matter, on what your goal for that ad is. Okay, so let's do this. One other question I want to ask of Brian before we go to an ad from Travis and from Sunit. And where did that go? I had that question. It was just here. All right, I'm just going to ask it. I remember the question, but it's call to action. So, Brian, they were asking about your buy this home from me, I'll sell yours for free. And I say not call to action, USPs. And this is a really important topic. And you guys, this is a game changer for your advertising, whether it's Facebook or anywhere else. So, Brian, why don't you speak to that for a moment?
Okay, so do you want me to explain what the program is? I guess I don't necessarily understand the program.
Well, just what USP in general, why it's important, and then what's that particular program?
Okay, so for me, USPs are important in 2017 more than ever. So when I started in real estate, selling general real estate in 2005, you met somebody and they worked with you, and that's really what it came down to. As long as you showed up, you were professional, they worked with you. You never lost a guy. They didn't, call 27 other realtors. Welcome to 2017, where if you're not making the assumption that every single person you're talking to has already talked to 7 other realtors, you're making a mistake. So I have to provide something that's special, Why do you want to work with me? Well, we've got this program, we've got this program, we've got this program. And this specific program that I've got advertised here is buy this house, we'll sell your house free. And basically what that means is if you buy this house, it's not if you buy any house with my team, it's not anything. It's just if you buy this house, I will turn around and I will sell your house for free. The reason that we do that is we get more people looking at that house, so it's really a seller program. And then also we get a lot of people who honestly misread it. They look at it and go, oh, if I buy a house with Brian, he's going to sell my house for free. Well, that's not true. It's not what the ad says. I'm not intentionally being deceptive. But at the end of the day, they go look at house A and they go, you know what? We love house A, but it's really not the house for us. So we want you to sell our house free. No, I'm not going to sell your house free, but I will sell your house. So now you've picked up a seller from having another listing, and you picked up that seller because they thought that you were going to sell their house for free. And even today, it's still like 60-some% of people will work with the first agent that they talk to. And again, we've got other programs that we go with them. But my point is this: offer somebody something that somebody else isn't, because again, if not, you're just another face in the crowd. So USPs are about being different and being special, and it's super hard to be different and special in 2017. So that's what I use it for.
Okay, we got a couple of people have questions here. By the way, somebody's got circus music going in the background. Anybody know who that is? Is that Sunit? No? All right. Is
that a joke?
No, we got a guy. I don't know. I'm not hearing it, but somebody's like, yeah, I'm hearing circus music. So I'm like, maybe it's just in his head. I don't know.
I don't know.
That sounds like something you probably should see a professional about. I'm not sure. So, all right, good stuff. Let's keep going here. Brian, on that program, Joy Russell, and by the way, shout out to Joy Russell in Louisiana. What's up? We love you, Joy. And she wants to know, are you charging the buyer's agent's fee, and are you eliminating your listing fees?
So our market is a 6% market typically. So yes, if you are the seller, I tell them they are required to pay a buyer's agent 3%.
Perfect. All right. Okay, good. So I want to get to I want to take another step forward, and I want to let Sunit and or Travis share your favorite ad. So Brian, can we let's see if I need to do that on my end. Which one of you guys wants to share next? All right, Sunit, we can't hear you. Are you there?
Yeah, I had turned down the circus music.
Right. So, that's funny. All right, Sunit, you are now the presenter.
All right. So I'm going to show my screen, and I'm going to Okay.
And while he's doing that, you guys, Brian, your ad, you'd run that. Would you? Or let me back up. Would you also run that as a lead ad?
You could definitely run that as a lead ad. Absolutely. We run similar ones. The reason I wanted to show that ad versus a lead ad, honestly, a lead ad is probably a little bit more effective, but a lead ad is much more complex. Anybody who's got a landing page can run the ad that I just showed you. You basically go into Facebook, type all that information into Facebook, hit post, and hit boost. So, the level of complexity is extremely low. So whereas lead ads, you have to understand a lot more about it. I mean, you need to understand a little bit of targeting, but honestly, when we first started running those, basically we dropped a pin, and when we dropped that pin, we just ran a radius. And is it perfect? Absolutely not. But I can tell you the other thing, we didn't really talk about this, is when I go to my seller or when I go to a listing appointment and I show them that 20,000 people saw the ad for their house in a week, they love that, because I can say, look, here's the actual statistics. I got 416 people that clicked on this link. 7 people loved it. 87 people liked it. 8 people shared it. And you got all this data that comes with it. And, what are you doing to sell my house? Well, I promise you, no other realtor than my market has got that data that's sitting in front of them. So honestly, the leads are great, but really what helps is when you go on a listing appointment and you can show that data to the seller, like, wow, you're actually doing something to help me. So.
Perfect. Love it. All right. So, and by the way, we also have several people asking, and by the way, that was Mike Moore that asked that question. Dennis Clark is one of the ones asking, what are you guys using for landing pages? Obviously, if you're doing, and I got a shout out to Travis at Elevated REM, if you are doing luxury listings in particular, you freaking need Elevated REM. Best single property websites out there. That being said, for just straight up landing pages, Sunit and Brian, what are you guys using?
I'm using Commissions Inc. What else am I using? And I use Travis's stuff as much as I can, honestly, because it looks the best.
Yeah, I use Listing to Leads as well. My audio is working, but unfortunately, GoToMeeting has saved everyone from my face. So you're welcome for that.
I think
still love you, Barry.
just thinks you've got a great face for radio. We'll call it.
Yeah. There you go. And Listing to Leads, Elevated REM, their single property websites are great. I also use Real Geeks and Ylopo. Both websites are incredibly sticky, and I'm a huge fan of forced registration.
So I'm going to come back, Barry, to your one of the things for those of you that make less than, I'm going to call it 75 grand a year, right? If you guys are what we call tier 1, which is actually under 150, I really like Listings to Leads. I think it's a great tool. It's a great resource for $25 a month. You can't beat it. And maybe Natasha, I think they normally charge 40, but we get a discount down to 25. Natasha, if you could post that link and our link to both Sync and Elevated, if you could post those two, Natasha, that'd be great. But yeah, Barry, I'm liking that you're doing forced registration. So, Brian, landing pages?
I use Ylopo and I use Curator.
Ylopo's killer too. Ylopo does a really good job of segregating those leads out and improving your quality of the average lead coming through. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. So, that's one of the big benefits. I talked to Howard the other day, and I love him to death. He's super proud of his stuff, and they really do a good job of saying, one of the things about Ylopo, if you use them, is you're getting X number of leads. Let's say you pay for 100 leads a month, but that doesn't mean they only generated 100 leads for you. They probably generated, 500 leads for you, or that's an exaggeration, maybe 200 leads for you, and then they weed them out.
Yep. Yeah. And Natasha, if you could post that Ylopo discount link as well, that'd be great. And then, of course, the Listings to Leads. I see she's already posted our discount for Sync there. All right, let's keep going. So, Sunit, go ahead and talk about your ad.
Okay. So, we have all this talk about paid leads and lead ads, all stuff that we do and absolute crush it on. But something else that we do, which is permissible entirely in my market, not entirely, but is organic posts on buy-sell groups. And we're able to generate, 1 to 200 extra leads a month for free, right? And, these leads, they're not the most amazing leads in the world, but we're converting them at about, 1 to 2% still. So I'll take all the free leads that I can get, right? So this is an example of two little bit ones we used about 6 months ago, and the numbers were much higher than this, the final numbers. And right, a couple pictures. We give some basic info here, something that I wouldn't recommend on a paid ad, right? And it goes to a forced reg site every time. The forced reg site, goes directly to our auto responders, whether it be Riley or Agent Legend or Call Action, and we kind of filter through there. The good thing about this too is we actually get a bunch of Facebook messages from people saying, "Hey, I want to buy this. Hey, I'm pre-approved, et cetera, et cetera." So it's an organic, free way to get more leads for your agents.
Well, and one of the things I love, and I'm hoping you guys are seeing in this and Sunit's ad, is Sunit runs a kinder, gentler ad. First of all, this is free, right? So he's running this to just literally to groups, to buy-sell groups, and it's just an organic post. It's not even an ad, it's an organic post. But the other thing that Sunit is doing here that's very interesting, it's the kinder, gentler Sunit, is the little emojis, right? He's got the little fingers, he's got all kinds of emojis all over it. The dude with the sunglasses, all kinds of cool stuff. And I'm sharing that because that stuff actually does make a difference. Sunit, any thoughts on that?
It absolutely was, and I'm pretty sure I learned that from Travis. But once I did that, it just humanizes you more, right? I mean, at the same time, these are coming from me because they're an organic post. So it doesn't necessarily say I'm a realtor. Oop, there's some Facebook leads. Please don't take that number. Oh my God, we're blowing up over here.
Everybody in Sacramento's like, I gotta call that lead.
Yeah, so something else I learned right from Travis is all the little humanizing parts, especially on these leads. It totally helps.
So Scott is actually asking. Scott Gregory asked, "Good question, Scott. How do I do that with those emoticons? How do I do that from a desktop, or do I have to do it from my phone?"
These are done from my. Do you know what? I forget how to do it every time I go to Google and write how to do an emoji from my laptop.
You can
face or something, right? I don't know.
Well, you can go to emojipedia.org. And emojipedia.org has basically all the different everything from like fire to just every kind of emoji that you want. And from there, it's like alt codes. So what they do is you copy it, you paste it, and it shows like how it would look on Android, on Messenger, on Facebook, right, on Chrome, on Safari, because every emoji shows up differently. Some are not universal. But that's the best place to probably go is emojipedia.org.
I just I posted that link, by the way, into the chat box as well, so you guys can see it there. Love it. And let's see, that's what I did. Kelly's like, yeah, that's what I do every time I'm using a computer. Use Chrome. I love it. All right, so let's. Anything else on that particular ad or this next one, Sunit?
So here, right, like rent to own. Down payment assistance. This was done by one of the former agents on my team, and we got 240 leads in 5 days. It was ridiculous.
And this was not a paid ad. This was an organic post.
Organic post ran by Mr. Aaron Mitchell. If he's out there, what's up, buddy? And just look, super basic. Own this home for less money than it costs to rent. Don't believe me? I'll show you how. And I think that's actually to give someone else a shout out. Bjorkman little script that he uses on his ads.
Oh my gosh! Please do not stroke that guy's ego. I'm just kidding. No, I love you, Mike.
And then so you see, register our message to talk with me personally. And he got so many Facebook messages about this. Mm-hmm. He was slammed for like a week. So
yeah.
So Sunny, were there more people hitting the message seller? Because that goes to Facebook Messenger, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes to Facebook Messenger, and bro, he was slammed. Like he lost his mind. So many.
Okay, so that's actually
great.
a really good one. So Ruby Pool was just asking, she says, for those of us that are just starting out and we don't have a landing page, is there a simple solution or a service to create a simple landing page that will be compliant with Facebook's new requirements? And I would say there's really three options here, right? I mean, or at least that I can think of really quick. One is do the private message me thing, right? Just literally tell, your call to action becomes send me a private message. That's great. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
And Sunit, how many free leads? You got 240 free leads in 5 days by running this rent to own ad.
Yep, and they're all still in my system. They all still get dripped on. Some of them, peek their heads up every once in a while, and they all get my beautiful face retargeted to them a couple times a week. So
that's incredible.
No idea.
That's great.
Yeah, okay. So perfect. All right. So then the other one I would suggest is again going back to and it's been posted in our chat box as well as listings to leads. If you just need a cheap landing page solution that's just super cheap. If those of you that are doing more business though and you want something again high end and really gorgeous and you want something that your sellers will be proud of, go to Elevated RM, which is huge. All right. So let's keep going. Let's see. Let's go to, actually, I'm sorry, Sunit, is there anything else you want to cover on this one? I'm trying to read through questions and do this at the same time. So are there any other things you want to comment about this ad or any other ads you want to share?
No, I mean, those are the basic ones. Am I still sharing my screen?
You are still sharing your screen, yes. So put the leads down. Just joking. All right, so let's go ahead and make Travis the presenter.
Oh, God, it's so many.
Oh, sure, okay.
So Travis, there you go, bro. You are now the presenter.
Right.
And we're going to see what Travis Tom's got for us while I tee up a couple of questions.
All right. Can everyone see that okay?
Yep.
It's a little small, I'm sure, but
notice the emoji key. I like that.
Yeah, kind of a deeper psychology there.
Mm-hmm.
So with emojis, kind of like what Sunny was saying, is that we see almost about 0.2 to almost 0.5% click-through rate, an additional click-through rate when we use emojis. So it's kind of a thumb stopper, right? You get people that actually, it kind of jars them out of their mind, right? The kind of pattern interruption as they're scrolling through. So having a thumb stopper, anything that is going to catch their eye but not look spammy, right? Because you might go overboard with adding, like 10, 15 different variations of it. You want to be pleasant, but at the same time, to kind of catch their eye. So with this one, this ad here, this has a few different things kind of tapped into it. And this is a Facebook lead ad. So just so everyone knows what's behind this is that they would have to go through the process of a form.
So hang on real quick, Travis, on that note, tell everybody what a Facebook lead ad is, and do you have to have a landing page if you're running lead ads?
No, you do not. And this is Facebook created Facebook lead ads, which are it's their own digital asset inside of the Facebook platform that you would find in the Facebook ad manager under lead generation. And when you create that, it's like a little mini landing page. So if you click on this ad, it flips around into basically almost like a little welcome form that says, get instant access, click here now, and then it pulls their social profile information, their phone number, their name, their email address, all that information is automatically filled out, and then they hit continue to website. So the conversion rate on it is really high compared to most landing pages. Industry standard rate is the average landing page should be converting at 20%. Facebook lead ads convert at 20% and then sometimes higher. But Facebook created it really because they wanted to keep everyone inside of the platform and keep that experience really quick, and also just another type of avenue for them to get advertisers and marketers like me to spend more money, and it's worked. So this ad here, basically, is we put a free list of homes for sale under this price amount, and you notice that I label it, I say in the downtown Austin area. Well, the reason we're actually labeling what it is, downtown Austin area, is because we're targeting the Austin area. And so in this ad for hyper relevancy, we want to use, so the Facebook algorithm is looking at it and saying, okay, we hear that you have basically used the word Austin, in the Austin area, and then list of homes. And then we have targeting, where we're targeting Austin. And then we also have people that are looking for homes for sale, people that are buying homes. And then we say, check out these listings, perfect for first-time home buyers. So we're pre-framing then that this is perfect for buyers that are starting to buy a home. Well, in the ad targeting, we're also targeting people that are most likely to be first-time home buyers, people that are interested in first-time home buyer grants, right? People that are interested in first-time starter homes, right? All of those as ad targeting. So we're really playing off the algorithm, playing off the targeting in the copywriting, because Facebook looks at that when they analyze your ad. And then we see some of them might even qualify for special financing programs. So then we have multiple images here. Now this ad is clickable, right? So if you click on this image, it's going to open up the form. If you click on this image, same thing, it's going to open up the form. So there's a study by a company called Customer Acquisition. They researched over 100,000 Facebook ads. And through that study, what they found was that the ad image is responsible for up to 90% of an ad's performance. So 90% of an ad performance is if it's based on the actual ad image. That tells us that we need to really be monetizing the image a little bit. So we either need to have a carousel ad, which is multiple images. And carousel ads get a higher preference. Here's kind of an image of one, just kind of showing you what that looks like there. And I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. But having a call to action or using kind of a fake out of a gallery of multiple images they click. So then we say, click here, right? We're telling a specific action, do this. So click here to view the homes under 249,000. So they click there, opens up the form. It's instantly filled out with their information, and then we send them on their way.
Okay, I got a couple of questions from the audience for you. One is, which one performs better? You say, is it carousel or multiple photos like the one you're showing now?
Well, so we've been testing this multiple photos one out against a few different other ads. We're running ads right now. We're kind of testing it in 3 different places. We're testing it in Mexico. We're testing it in Portland and Vancouver. So we have 3 different markets, 2 international and 1 kind of local, and then 1 in Colorado. And the results are all different. But what we are seeing, one that is kind of dominating more than the other is carousel. So we have a carousel ad that is basically 6 different images of download all the homes for sale, starting at this price range. The reason why is because carousel images are getting more preferred right now by the Facebook ad platform. So they have a higher preference. So they're actually going to position themselves higher up in the newsfeed, and it has more time spent on it. Almost like Canvas ads, where it's more of an immersive mobile experience. People spend up to almost a minute and 10 seconds in Canvas ads. Well, with carousel ads, very similar. They're swiping on the opportunity through, right? The natural language of the thumb, right? If you're targeting people with just a mobile, which a great majority of it is all being shipped just to the mobile newsfeed. Then you're swiping through on the carousel ad. You're giving them multiple opportunities to click. So more opportunities, more engagement is going to equal higher click-through rate. So carousel ads, what we're seeing is we're seeing a higher click-through rate, and then we're seeing a higher conversion rate, which then ups our relevancy score. So if you have a higher click-through rate, and it's kind of simple math here, higher click-through rate equals a higher relevancy score, because Facebook is basically being fed the data that people are interacting with this, they like it, they're engaging, so this is being optimized.
Okay, so I want to come back. What about, we've got multiple, we got photos are good. So you can run an ad with no photos, that sucks. You can run an ad with photos, that's good, that's better. You can run an ad with multiple photos, better still. You can run a carousel ad, better still. What about, everybody's asking the question, I'm seeing Dennis just asked it, I got a lot of other people.
I'm about to ask it too.
Video, right? I mean, that's the $1,000 or $1 million question. What about video ads, Travis?
So video ads on Facebook lead ads, great question. So Do you want me to do Facebook lead ads or with or without?
Both. Like first of all, and I would assume, and I would love to know your thoughts on this. Does Facebook lead ads get a higher score than than an ad run to a landing page? That's first question. Second question is whether it's Facebook lead ads or leads driven to a landing page. Do we get better? You know, are ads going to be seen more, or do we get better conversion if we're using video versus carousel?
So Facebook loves video right now too, right? Video still has a really high preference in the ad platform. Anytime there's any kind of new product that's been, or new ad format that's being rolled out, Facebook is really going to give that a high preference. And video definitely is still kind of the king in that realm. But one of the beauty, I guess, it depends on the strategy. One of the beautiful things with Facebook and using videos is if you're using video views or whatever it might be, but you have a video, is that you can then retarget people that have watched a certain percentage of that video. So we have an ad campaign right now where we have a video that's going out about a property. And the video doesn't mention anything about address, right? Any of those things. It just is a really beautiful video. Well, you can then go back and retarget people that watch 75% of that video, create a custom audience for that, and then run a Facebook lead ad to just that audience, right? It may be saying this house is having an open house, or it's just now in the market. We haven't seen that great of a conversion rate with video on Facebook lead ads. And I think the reason why is because it might be just too much information packed into one and not really getting them to actually click and move forward. People are watching the video and retaining information, but they're not taking action on it. So unless your video is specifically saying, click here now, download the full list of homes, right? Or get access to the property details and pricing information. So video on Facebook lead ads, not so much unless it's a cinemagraph. Cinegraphs are where you have, if you've ever seen that, like the ones with someone pouring a cup of coffee and the coffee is steaming, right? The water's flowing, but everything stays the exact same. It's just kind of that steam. Cinegraphs are basically taking that extra layer of a static image and adding a little bit of video. Those get a high click-through rate in terms of Facebook lead ads, but then you have to have someone create a cinegraph. But video views are great if you're going to retarget them.
So in an effort to keep it focused on the basics for folks on this call today, what I'm hearing is run carousel ads.
Yeah. Yes, run carousel ads. Use software like PicMonkey, which is a free photo editing software. That's what I did to create this. So this is 3 different images. Create a collage. Very simple, right? To do that. That gets a high click-through rate, and then use carousel ads. Carousel ads right now are our best preference in terms of Facebook lead ads. Carousel ads.
All right, so I got to ask. Sunit, you had something?
Well,
I want to ask. I can't remember who it was. Who was it that was using the message seller button? Who was that? Was that one of you guys? Sunit, tell us about that. I like that. I thought that was cool. And Laura Matisse wants to know about that.
Well, I mean, so that's just on the organic post and the buy-sell groups, right? You really can't do that on an advertisement. It's like if you were selling autographed picture of Michael Hellickson, you could just hit the seller.
I think that would be a pretty non-click-through ad on that one, just FYI. So go ahead, Travis.
I do have the comment that Sunit's strategy of having people send messages through via Messenger is kind of a big deal right now because of where Facebook Messenger and where Facebook is going with Facebook Messenger. Really, they're pushing every opportunity for you to get people to interact with your Facebook Business Messenger to create subscribers, to create a list, because the Facebook Messenger is becoming today's hybrid of email and text messages, right? It's kind of replacing the modern day email and text message platform. So right now we have a lot of people that we're seeing in different marketers that we work with, where they're driving people from the basically, you know, get the full list of details. So you can have a Facebook ad that's Messenger, driving people to your business messenger, and then that's where you may host or have the hyperlink to the landing page. But your goal is you're not capturing them at the top, right? It's not a Facebook lead ad. You're not sending them to a landing page. Just like Sunny, you're sending them into Facebook Business Messenger. And then that's where then you can either communicate and start a dialogue right away with those leads. So you really close the gap from lead, you know, click to communication, and start to really engage. And they may have questions about, hey, just saw the ad that you posted, and you're building up this list, and then you can run broadcast messages to all those people, or later run actual Facebook ads inside of your Facebook Messenger to all those people. Sunny knows I ran an ad to you.
It hasn't stopped. That bot, man, it's every day, but I love it.
I love it. Okay, so Barry, I just tried to share you to make you the presenter. Is that going to work? You want to give that a shot so you can share that seller ad? Barry, can you hear us? Barry Jenkins. Okay, we can see your screen, and hey, we can hear you and see your screen. We just can't see you. It's actually perfect. Awesome. Go for it.
All right. So I am a big fan of Facebook advertising. And one of the things that I try to do is to connect with people, as Travis has mentioned, on like more of an emotional level, because, you know, they're not there to they're not here to shop for real estate. They are here to check and spy on their friends from high school. So one of the things that I just sent you, Michael, and but now that I can share my screen, I'll go ahead and do it. I know this is kind of small, but what I did is I ran a seller guide ad, and I had a picture of a road, and I used typogram, and I know you can't see it.
Can you make that a little bit bigger? Are you able to stretch that out a little? Your box there?
Yeah, I can, but it doesn't.
It's all pixelated. Yeah.
Yeah. But the ad here's it's a picture of a road, and I put a free ebook, and I used some emojis, and I said more or less I just said, you know, selling your home is a process. I want to give you a free guide that I've created. Click here for more info. So then it was a lead ad, and I sent it through Zapier, so that I would get an email every time somebody would register on the lead ad. And so then once they created or clicked on the lead ad, they would get sent to a landing page, and that landing page is right here. And so I created a mini funnel, because when they click on here, and at the bottom of this lead ad, once they submit their info, it says view website, and they would click view website, and they would land on this. This is a free Weebly website that we created, friendandrealtyguides.com. And I use this friendandrealtyguides.com for all of my profiles. So like if you text seller or buyer to a call action number in any of my ads, you get a link to friendandrealtyguides.com. And these are just PDFs that I have from Keeping Current Matters. But, you know, if somebody is interested in selling their home and they click this ad to get this PDF, if you'll notice at the very bottom of the website, we just added a little snipply. How much is your home worth? And you click here to get personalized estimate, and then they land on my Real Geeks home evaluation ad. And so what I found really interesting when I was doing this was a lot of times people will go on the website, that they will register. They will put in their address, but as soon as they find out they have to register to get their home value, they don't move any further. But because of the lead ad, I'm getting all their info up front, making it super easy. And because they are curious, I'm not selling my home anytime soon, but I'm very interested in what my home is worth. And so starting with the guide on how to sell your home, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't read a book unless I'm interested in the subject, right? So So they're starting with the premise that I want some content. I want the content you're giving me. And the result of that content is I know they're coming to my website interested in selling. Then they put in their home value or address to get their home value. I already have all their contact info. So when I ran this ad, I listed 2 homes as a result of this ad. And it was a part of a farming on Facebook that I did. Before this ad that I ran an ad before this that said, hey, I just sold this home on 123 Smith Street. I sold it in, and I give the number of days. And then if I'm able to say that I sold it higher than others, like a per square foot cost or highest sale in the neighborhood in a year, I say that as well, because my opinion, sellers, if you just say I sold this in a week, whether they tell you or not, sellers are going to make the assumption that you underpriced it. And so, so saying I sold it for high, I sold it real fast, and then I target it to a neighborhood. So I'll say like, Salem or Norfolk Highlands or, Virginia Beach, and I'll target that neighborhood. So it's the right message to the right people at the right moment. And then I created this mini funnel based on the premise that people that want to read a seller guide are going to be interested in what their home's worth. And so I casually put it at the bottom, and it works. We were able to actually procure a total number of leads, starting with the funnel of I sold a home for X amount of dollars. If you're interested, let me know. Plus this, I think we've got 70 home evaluation leads total. And within 4 months, we listed 3 properties. So it was a huge return.
Okay, so I got a couple of questions. Brian and or you guys, any of you have questions for Barry so far? Okay, I want to throw a couple of things out, Barry. One, I know there's people that want to know Snipply. That's the little pop-up. What is the URL for Snipply? Okay, so while you're looking that up, the other question we're asking is what are you using for your landing page right here? What's what is that? Is that Sync? Is that something? Is that Wallow?
No, it's Weebly, WEEBLY, and it's free. It's a free website. But then if you want to have like a specific domain, you have to pay a little bit of money.
It's www.weeb.ly, right?
Yeah.
I believe that's it. I just posted that. All right, and then let's see here.
And Snipply is snip.ly. So add a call to action to every link that you share. So if you share a link to something, you can kind of mat it. So let's say there's a good article on Yahoo Finance about real estate. You can add the Snipply to that article, and the Snipply can link to a home evaluation. It can link to a list of homes. I mean, there's just really anything you can do. So that, specifically with some of Sunit's organic postings, if it's a link to an article of some kind, because some groups don't allow you to post for sale. Like my neighborhood, you can't post anything for sale in the neighborhood, but I can post an article about crime rates in the area and have a little Snipply at the bottom that says, if you're interested in shopping for real estate in the Norfolk Highlands area, click here or something like that.
Dude, that is so good. Yeah.
It's good. That is huge. I love that. And all the stuff that we're talking about here, none of this stuff costs a bunch of money, you guys. This is stuff you can do right now. It's not going to cost you a bunch of money, and it works. I mean, we've shown you on this webinar. And by the way, I got a lot of people asking for a replay link. And the short answer is yes, we will have a replay link. It'll get posted on our website. What we're going to do is, for all of you that registered for the webinar, we're going to do a Facebook post, and those of you that are friends of ours or that are part of the Club Wealth Real Estate Agent Mastermind group, we'll make sure we post it in there so you'll have access to it in there. If you're not already a member of that group, go to Facebook, join the Club Wealth Real Estate Agent Mastermind. Now, I've got a couple of people, I've noticed a couple of coaching clients even are asking, hey, can I get that funnel? And here's the thing, the reality is we don't have time to share everything in the world today, right? And so really all we're trying to do is we're trying to show you some ideas that you can implement right now that aren't going to cost you money, that will bring you leads today. And so those of you that want to go deeper, there's a couple of things that I would recommend. One, I would take a look at our Boost coaching program, which is it's $97 a month, and you can learn some of this stuff in there. A lot of the stuff that we do that doesn't cost a lot of money. It's just clubwealth.com/boost. Maybe we can get Natasha to put that in your chat box there. But the other thing is, if you want to coach with Brian or with Sunit or with Barry, I mean, these guys are all Club Wealth coaches, and we can help you, and they will walk you through one-on-one exactly how to do all this. That being said, we don't know when the replay link will be available. It usually takes a few days before we can get that, transcribed, moved into a post that we can then share, but we will make that happen. So that being said, if you have any other questions, just go to clubwealth.com. If you want to find out more about these guys, you can call 206-300-1000. If you're interested in coaching with one of these guys, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll get you connected. We'll get you taken care of. So that being said, we are out of time. I want to go to parting thoughts from each one of you. Barry, you're first.
Yeah, so I would say with parting thoughts, Facebook is an incredible way to generate people that are early on in the funnel. If you're sitting down at your computer and you're about to run Facebook ads and you hate your life, meaning like, you really don't want to do this, hire somebody. Seriously, like Travis, I've actually contracted Travis to do some work for me. I didn't want to create a bot. Like, I don't want to learn how to do that. And so I said, hey, man, I'd love for you to create a messenger bot that walks people through the process of buying and make it funny. And he made it hilarious. So just, don't feel like you have to be an expert at everything, but at the same time, don't think that Facebook's a waste of your time. It's not. It's one of the best money makers that you can utilize in your business.
Love it. Love it. And by the way, and so, yes, 100% agree. And speaking of Travis, Mr. Facebook Ninja, super excited. Guess who's going to be speaking at Business Strategy Mastermind Conference? It's Mr. Travis Tom. So super excited about that. So for those of you that are coming to the event, you'll get to meet Travis in person. You'll get to hear him speak. And he's going to make sure that at that event that he keeps it very simple for everybody. And you want to go deeper with him, he's going to give you opportunities to do that as well. But Travis, let's go to you. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I would have to say, if you're just starting out, you saw several great strategies from Brian, Sunit, from Barry, and each one of them, as you saw, some of them were free and really easy to execute. And then, we have Barry's, which, adding Sniply, which is an amazing tool, really harness some of the low-hanging fruit first, right? Get your feet wet a little bit of understanding those types of items, and then graduate up to something that is a little bit more advanced, like actually running Facebook lead ads. But kind of to touch back on what Barry says, is Barry, are you responding back to people?
Yeah. I only see your screen, dude.
That's hilarious.
Barry's converting as we speak.
Dude, Barry, you gotta stop sharing your screen, bro.
I'm a machine. I never stop.
I love it. That's great. So in regards to play off what Barry had said, which is a lot of people there, sometimes they're higher up in the funnel, so you need to nurture them. So take the baby steps of learning some of the free tools, and then, graduate up to some of the things that are going to be using retargeting, because in my mind, retargeting equals closings, right? Pixels equals closings. A lot of these people are qualified, but they're not ready to do it just right now. So you need to nurture them through retargeting.
So let's talk, but real quick, I want to mention this about retargeting, you guys. There's a link that's posted in your chat. Travis and I did a blog post on retargeting and how to do it. And Travis, you killed it with it. Thank you for that. So you can get there through that link that's in your chat box. We posted a lot of links today. Holy cow. And for those of you that did not get your questions answered, we got a lot of questions in here that did not get answered. So here's what we're going to do. In the Club Wealth Real Estate Agent Mastermind Group, and Natasha and Tara are going to freaking kill me for this, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back through all of your questions that did not get answered today. We're going to tag all the guys that are on the call here. We're going to get all of them tagged in that post. and we're going to put those questions in the post so that you guys can answer the questions right there in the group. But that being said, we're going to go to parting thoughts from Brian right now. Brian, go ahead.
So my parting thought is along the lines of my initial thoughts. Begin with the end in mind. So, everything that we've talked about today is very possible. I wanted to start with the very basic ads because I think that honestly, probably 90% of the people are not going to go, we didn't even talk about once I run a lead ad, how do I get the lead ad from here to here? Because that's another thing. Barry mentioned Zapier, you get LeadSpread, you get all these things that come in. So start with something. Create yourself some success, and then again, reach out to people who are doing this, be on more webinars like this, or get some coaching along those lines. And you do step 1, you do step 2, you do step 3, and you can build up a whole great, amazing process for this. But begin with the end in mind. My biggest thing that I use Facebook for is to show my sellers that I'm doing something for them. That alone, if you were to take nothing else away from that except be different, because that's really the thing in real estate in 2017 is be different. If that alone is what you got from this, that could get you 5, 10, 15 more closings this year. So, keep it simple. This is often overwhelming because when I first started this, I was like, there's no way I could possibly do it. I listened to some of the stuff Travis does. I'm like, yeah, he's really good at that. So, sometimes keep it simple, just move forward, and that's where I'll leave it at.
So my parting thought is, number 1, I think you guys are all freaking rock stars. So even the shadow here that is, in witness protection, Mr. Barry Jenkins, I got to give you a hard time there, bro. Love you. And your mom's watching, by the way, just FYI, she was on the webinar. So, and I know she knows how to share her webcam because she was doing it on a mastermind call this morning. So maybe she could show you. Anyway, that being said, here is my one parting thought that I would share with everybody. And it is, keep it super simple. Just start with something basic, start with something simple. Frankly, I really love what Sunit was doing with his organic ads. Super simple. Have, in there, the call to action be that they can just message you. You don't need a landing page. You don't need to learn lead ads for that. Just have them message you. That is a starting point. And for those of you that need the very, very most basic, simple starting point that will get you traction now, I would recommend do that. So that being said, I cannot thank you guys enough. I love getting a lot of smart people together on these calls, and today was no exception. Obviously, we've got some highly intelligent people helping us out here, and you guys, we love you. Everybody, I think I speak for everybody today in saying that you guys brought massive value again. So we're looking forward to hearing your comments in the post in the group. And that being said, for those of you that haven't already done so, make sure that you get signed up for the Club Wealth Real Estate Agent Mastermind, for the group and for Business Strategy Mastermind Conference. The Business Strategy Mastermind Conference this year, we already have 3 times as many people signed up right now as we did this time last year. It is no question going to sell out. If you don't get signed up, you're going to be seeing all the social media posts from the event. You're going to be like, dude, I just missed the best conference in the world. In fact, we will literally guarantee you that if by the end of day 2, you don't believe that it's the absolute best real estate conference you've ever been to, we will literally refund 200%, not 100%, 200% of what you paid to be there, your entrance to get in. And here's the reality. You'll have to leave at that point in time, right? Like if you want your 200%, you got to leave. Nobody's ever asked us for their money back. You're going to love it. It's going to be a great event. And you get to see these guys. These guys will all be there. So super excited. Everybody have an awesome, awesome day. And remember, you really, truly are world class.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you for having me on.